What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am Grant for One Fair Review, and today we're going to be looking at something pretty special. I'm going to be doing something different than what I usually do. Not going to be reviewing an anime, not even going to be discussing an anime. I'm going to discuss people's thoughts on an anime. And the anime we're looking at is Do You Love Your Mom and Her Two-Hit Multi-Target Attacks. And it's just a mouthful of a title. And now this is an isekai that's been around for a little while. It's on its 6th episode, depending on when this episode comes out, or when this video you're watching it, doesn't matter. Now I am going to crunchyroll.com and myanimelist.com, and I'm going to be reading a few of the negative reviews of what people have to say, because apparently a lot of people have some bad things to say about this show. I'm not going to give my opinion right now. I'm going to give it at the end, but let's read some of these reviews, starting on Crunchyroll. Alright, so this first one is titled, Not What I Was Expecting or Hoping For. The first episode was cute. Once the kid apologized for being a punk to his mom, and I thought this would be a fun twist on an isekai that would have adventures with a boy and his mommy in a wholesome way where they would bond in a parent-child relationship. Something that I could watch with my kids. Okay, so this is a family person right here. Keep that in mind. That all went out the window in episode 2. I knew that the degree of fan service would likely be involved with how the episode had emphasized the mother's chest a few times. But the episode 2 put fan service on a blast and then crossed the line past that into fetishism with the incest vibe. I can't show this to my kids, and my boy stuck flopping around on his naked mother is disgusting. Alright, that's a pretty hefty review there. Of course, I know what he's talking about. It is the moment in episode 2 where the mother gets slime on her. Truth be told, yes, that can be a little bit of an awkward moment, especially weird because it's mother and son, but watching that, I mean, that's not the weirdest thing I've seen in anime by far. And in terms of incest, I never really got that from that. I more of got humiliation out of that. So if you want a fetish, that would probably be humiliation or embarrassment. I wouldn't necessarily say incest, because I didn't really get incest from that. It would be incest if the boy liked it, but clearly he didn't, and it's played up for comedic purposes, and it's also it's nothing that they enjoy, but I digress. Oops, let's get back here. Alright, next review. It went downhill fast after episode 1. This is a long one. My initial rating was pretty high, as this appeared to be at least a different take on the genre. It appeared in the first episode to be a cute story about mom keeps stealing my thunder. That didn't take itself seriously. In that vein, it had hope. Sadly, all the hope evaporated in episode 2 and 3. It quickly became apparent that over-the-top mommy fan service and MILF son taboo incest manner was going to be a recurring theme in the show. In typical anime fashion, they try to play off these moments by having son play straight man in I am seeing something no son should see fashion, that they are not fooling anyone. But they are not fooling anyone. As if this wasn't bad enough, episode 3 decides to actually tout the mythology connection between all mothers and their children, and to the degree that they are somehow connected even if the parent is abusive and neglectful. This is a hard to choke down if you are someone who are close to has ever had to deal with the psychological and emotional damage that can be inflicted by such a parent. It came across as ignorant and asinine. Okay. I completely did not read that correctly. It's a real shame because I was fine with the premise. The character designs are decent and there are bits and pieces of good, fun writing here and there. But there is continuously pulled under by the raging torment of fetish fanservice and stupidity that ruined all the fun. For that reason, I am drastically lowering my rating. I am disappointed. Okay. Alright, so that's really a lot to take in there. Where do I even begin? So he's talking about in episode 3 where they talk about, I believe her name is Wise. I would have to, don't quote me on that, but I think her name's Wise. She has a mother that is she's not really an abusive mother, more as she's just a bad parent, and that's pretty much it. And I don't think they really tried to make it to where it's like, okay, you need to love your parent even if they're abusive. I think the point of it was more that Mamako was ashamed of the other mother because she said that to her, a child is something precious to a mother and should be a special connection. And in the theme of the show, I do believe it is a good message that mothers should feel connected to their child, even if they can be annoying or even if they don't like some aspects of their children. Children can be hard to deal with, but at the end of the day, the special bond that a mother has with her child should be unbreakable. So it was not something that had to do with an abusive mother necessarily. It was more trying to make a point that the mother, Mamako, the main one, is disgusted from the other mother for neglecting her child, and she was giving her feelings on that. So yeah. One out of 5 stars. That's a good review. I have to mention, going to the site over here, the average rating system, 34 people giving it 5 stars. I don't think it deserves that, but 43% or 43 people gave it a 1 star. So clearly, there's a lot more people hating this show than there are liking. All right, so the next review, and probably the last review we're gonna read on here, this amount is not normal. Weird family relationships are definitely a thing in anime, but usually it is in the context that involves teasing to embarrass a character, or the characters aren't actually related, or it's an anime with a serious tone. Saying that, and as an anime watcher for over 20 years, that makes your statement more credible. This amount of incest is not normal in anything not labeled as hentai. If you think this is normal in anime, then you are purposely seeking it out a lot. I really didn't need to put that, add that a lot aspect to it. But again, with the incest, I think a lot of people keep bringing up incest, and I am one of the people who absolutely do not like incest at all when it comes to anime or anything. I remember seeing people in real life who say they would pick the little sister over the best friend, and I am one of those people who says no, because unlike most of the people that I meet that say that, I do have siblings, and I am very close in my family. So obviously, I hate incest stuff or anything like that when a brother or, is in love with his sister or sister's in love with her brother. It's weird and bizarre, unless you're supposed to know that it's weird and bizarre and you're not supposed to root for it. That being said, when I watched this show, what's the name of it again? Do You Love Your Mom and Her... Okay, Mamako Show. I'm just going to call it Mamako Show. When I watch Mamako, at no point do I ever get this incest vibe that everybody seems to get from it. Like I said, what I get from it is the bond of a child, a son and his mother, trying to bond over this adventure. And the whole aspect of it that I really get is that this mother is just embarrassing to her son because she thinks her son is great and she wants him to succeed, which is what a real mother would do. Are there aspects of it that can be weird and awkward? Yes, of course. It is an anime after all, and it has to have fan service. But that doesn't outright make it to be incest in any way, shape, or form. So anyways, let's move on from Crunchyroll and go to myanimelist.com. Alright, so this review, overall rating, 3 out of 10. They measure it out of 10 here, so... This sorry excuse for an isekai is so shockingly bad that I was actually speechless watching the first episodes. For the most part, it feels like a parody of itself, but sadly without any sign of understanding the tropes elements it is using. Alright. Story, setting, characters, even jokes seem to be heavily inspired by popular isekai animes for the last years, but without the charm or imagination to do anything worthwhile with it. It feels like a cluster F of cliches, to put it bluntly. Alright, so I'm probably not going to read the rest of this review because I've already skimmed it. That is a fair point. That really is a fair point to say. There is nothing special about this isekai per se. Nothing really creative about it other than it is the gimmick of a mother and her son going to an isekai and bonding. That's pretty much it. So that is a fair aspect to have, although 3 out of 10, that is very harsh. I have seen way worse isekai than this. This is not even bottom of the barrel. This is like midway point. Like, okay, it can still be enjoyable. The fact that it's shockingly bad, I don't know what shockingly bad you mean. I mean, the animation isn't particularly bad. Neither are the character designs. The music itself isn't horrible. And the story itself isn't terrible. So shockingly bad, I really would not say that this is shockingly bad. Shockingly bad would be like Ultraman level, like CGI. Like, that was just pathetic. Like, I thought that was terrible. But yeah, let's move on. Alright, so this one has an overall rating of 3. This anime is about a mother and son who venture into isekai world. Okay. It's one of the most uninspired and bad isekai shows to date. There are 0 integrating characters and world building is non-existent. The show looks like trash, and I don't remember any of the music. Shitty mom jokes. Yep, one of the main gags in this anime is how the mother wants to play around with her son in a fantasy world, but the son doesn't want to. Of course, he can't resist physically since she is stronger than him. Neither can he resist emotionally, as she throws a hissy fit and starts crying whenever he complains about the fact that he's essentially kidnapped him. That's not true, by the way. He willingly wanted to go to this world, and his mother joins him. So if anything, her son kind of kidnaps her, if you catch what I'm trying to tell you. At the same time, I can't really say that the son's complaining is valid. I mean, the son's complaining comes off as more bratty than anything else. So when his mother cries or he gets really sad, I mean, you feel more for the mom, because it's like, yeah, you're being a dick to your mom. So, yeah, I mean, I can understand the feelings of the character, but, I mean, it's your mom at the end of the day. And I think this is something that a lot of people also are missing about the show. Mom jokes aside, this anime is so bad. The jokes are so sloppy and usually some primitive form of slapstick. Funny characters or interesting world building is, of course, also non-existent. So even if I wanted to ignore the shitty mom-related jokes, there are no other redeeming qualities either. It must be so easy to make bad anime when you can just hide behind the excuse your anime is a parody or something. Okay. Again, I guess there are some fair points to be said here. I mean, the anime is very generic in terms of world building and characters. There's really nothing that special other than Mamako herself. And that's really the only special thing about the anime, and the only reason you'd want to watch the anime. Again, I would argue to say that it is not a 3 out of 10 worthy. I'm not saying that the show is amazing, but all of these things that people seem to be complaining about, they fail to realize that that's not what the show is about. Yes, it doesn't have any world building. It's not about the world building. Yeah, I get that. It's like, so what? Another thing is people seem to be talking about incest. I don't know if people know what incest is. And I don't know if they think that like having slapstick comedy or, you know, fan service, that equals incest. Well, it doesn't. It's just comedy. And like I've seen a lot of just people in general who have seen this anime and they think nothing of it. And they might not like it, but they think nothing of it. And I'm talking about Japanese people who watch it. And I mean, these are people, like Japanese people. I've seen them laugh at things that I wouldn't laugh at. Things like, I remember one girl, she told me a story of how she had a stalker who tried to look up her skirt, and she was telling it in a funny way. I was like, how the hell is that funny? He tried to look up at your skirt. And she's like, well, it's kind of funny, I guess. So I don't know, like, sometimes I find it funny, that kind of slapstick. I don't know. And I've gotten kind of used to it, and sometimes I find it funny. Did I think it was funny in here when you see her, like, naked and he's falling on top of her? No, I didn't find it that funny. I found it kind of awkward, but I didn't think it was incest. Again, people are just over-exaggerating. Overall, from the reviews I've read, it tends to be mostly negative, and on Crunchyroll in particular, it's at a 2.8 out of 5, and it's going down and down by each episode, and I really don't know why. It is definitely not the worst isekai I've seen this season. It's not great, it's just kind of dumb fun. And I guess if I was to talk about it a little bit more, yeah, it's just a dumb fun show. There's nothing particularly special about it, there's nothing really groundbreaking. It's just kind of funny to watch. Seeing these reviews and how people are getting so worked up over the incest aspect of it, I just don't get it. There is no incest in the show. It's really, I'm not going to say necessarily it's wholesome family fun, because there are some moments that are definitely not wholesome, but it is just kind of what it is. I mean, it's a mother who goes to a fantasy world with her son. I mean, what did you expect, really? So, yeah, if I had to rate it out of 10, of course, I have not seen the entire show. There's only been 6 episodes out. From what I tend to favor, I would give this show a 6 out of 10, as in it's average. It's fine. I have no qualms with it, so yeah, that's really all I have to say. Let me know if you guys think the same down below, and I'll see you next time for my next review. As always, have a nice day, and I'm Grant for One Fair Review.